still can't get it. Yeah, it's afternoon. But it's good to see you here today. I wanted to make a couple announcements. If you're new to City Hill, we want to say hello. It's good to see you. We are a ministry that we meet one day a week. I say this a lot, but we're not quite officially a church, even though we are a part of the church. But we're a ministry that meets one day a week. We do have a Bible study going on now on Sunday mornings that I wanted to announce. At 10:30 we have a Bible study for adults. And we have a youth group. What time does the youth usually start? 11. We're always up here doing practicing, so I don't always know what all's going on. But you know, if you have youth, and you want to come early, we always have donuts. If you're an adult, you know, we'd love for you to come. If you're like me and you don't know where you are or where you fall into this, like your age says adult, but your mind says children, come anyway. We'll find a place for you. But I want to welcome you. We are a ministry that is totally funded by you. We have a box over here. We don't pass out an offering, but I always like to mention that there is a box there. If you could give, we would greatly appreciate it. What goes in there ends up going towards the rent. A couple things while I'm up here, I thought I'd just go ahead and mention, because we get here early, not only for the band, but we get here sometimes early to just make sure the heat's on and everything's straightened and organized. And, sometimes it's not always clean when we get here, so some of us have to kind of take some trash out and organize some things before we can even get started. And I was just kind of going through, putting some trash bags in, and I noticed that we are getting low on trash bags. And the reason why I'm saying this to you today is because if this is your ministry, this is not my ministry, this is our ministry. And one or two people shouldn't be funding it all. And maybe you're hesitant to give money, but next time you're at Walmart, next time you're at the grocery store, just maybe you can pick up an extra roll of paper towels, or an extra thing of toilet paper, or a thing of garbage bags. These are some of the things that we use here, so that those who have been buying it don't have to buy it, and they can put their money in toward the ministry. It's all part of the ministry. But if you can donate, you know, I'm reluctant a lot of times to just put out there what we need, because I don't want to burden anyone. But we need some garbage bags, and we're always needing water, and we're always needing toilet paper. I mean, who doesn't need toilet paper, amen? But anyway, maybe you could do that. But I want to welcome you to City Hill. So good to see you here today. I have a few things that I wanted to share with you. Kind of along the same lines as what we've been talking about for the last, I guess we're almost 3 months now. I can't believe it's March, mid-March. But I have been sharing with you since the beginning of this year the importance of us having a focus and having a vision. Because if you're like me, you are easily distracted. You have squirrel moments. You have that ready? No, but you have squirrel moments, and I am easily distracted, and I shared a little bit with you last week how easily distracted I am. And that's why I'm really kind of continuing this thing for our church. And I don't know if you realize, and I think all of you do, but the church isn't a building, right? You understand that, right? Who makes up the church? The people. That's the church. And so this goal or this vision that I've been sharing with you and I for City Hill Ministry is also should be the goal or the vision for you and I as believers. And I really had a couple of things that I wanted to share with you, and I might share one of these with you next week. But the two things that I want our ministry to be is, if you don't know Christ, we want to introduce you to Christ. We want to see people come to know Christ. And I have been passionate for years, and I don't ever want that passion to dim. I want to be fired up to see more people come to know Christ. That should be the goal of the vision and the mission for any church. Amen. But a lot of times what happens is, and really for the last couple of years, this is what we have been, or I as the pastor have been falling into, is the majority of everyone, if not everyone that I'm speaking to, is saved. And so I just want to remind you that as a believer, one of the main things that we should be doing is telling others about Christ. But then the other thing that we should be doing is trying to become more like Christ. And so I guess I've really been pounding it into you all how important it is for us to be like Christ. And that should be a goal or a vision for anyone as a believer. And at City Hill, we want to encourage you to be that city on the hill that's shining. And so I want to encourage you to get out there and be a witness. And, a lot of us, myself included, I fall short. And I've been sharing with you how we need to forget what is behind and continue to press forward. And we've been talking about some of the ways the enemy, not only am I easily distracted, but then the enemy loves to distract us. And he loves to use anything and everything he can in this world to pull us away from what our purpose and our plan should be. And we talked last week about how comparing is one of those ways that the enemy loves to get our vision off of Christ and on others. Comparing our ministry with others, or comparing our life with others. It's a great way the enemy uses for us to get distracted. And today I wanted to share with you some things that I believe is important, because not only can we be distracted and get our eyes back on the world, but I believe when we get our eyes back on the world, it has an impact, it has an effect on everything in our life. And two areas that I am really passionate about is not only what comes out of our mouth, but what comes out of our mind. Or another way of thinking, what goes in our mind. And I know I share this a lot. And I want to share it again. And you might be thinking, man, he repeats this quite often. Maybe it's because I need to hear it. And if you've got it all figured out, great. Maybe you can encourage me. But I don't have it all figured out. So from time to time, I need to remind myself, and that's what I usually do, is I'm not preaching so much to you, I'm preaching to myself up here today. I need to take inventory of what goes into my mind, and I need to take inventory of what comes out of my mouth. And so today I wanted to talk to you about, and I forgot to give you a title for the message, but let's just say, powerful words to live by. Do you remember the old saying, sticks and stones, they break my bones, and how's the rest of it go? How many of you believe that's true? Somewhat. Well, according to the Bible, that's not true. And, and I don't even know where that came from. And I appreciate whoever it was that started it, because I like their thought, or at least I believe this was their thought, to get some mental toughness, within you. Kids get made fun of, or kids get ridiculed, or kids get teased, and maybe this was a saying to put in their mind, hey, you can throw words at me, but they're going to bounce off. But in reality, oftentimes they sink in and they begin to do damage. But hear me out here today. I believe that we live in the most sensitive, most sissified generation that I've ever seen. Amen? And good Lord, why is everyone so offended? Get over it. And I believe there needs to be some mental toughness. And I believe that we need to, I don't remember how it is Rob says it, but not let these words stick to us, but let them bounce off. But the reality is, sticks and stones may break your bones, but I believe words can hurt as well. And according to the Bible, according to the wisest man next to Jesus, who was Solomon, in Proverbs 18:21, the NIV version says, the tongue has the power of life and death. Now, last time I checked, death can hurt. So, sticks and stones may break my bones, and words can hurt you. Yes, they can lead to life or death. And Solomon goes on and says, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Now, I've been telling you, I've been reading out of the Message Bible, so curiosity, I thought, I wonder what the Message Bible says in Proverbs 18:21. And we have that here, and Chandler has that, and I love how it's worded. It says, words what?
Kill.
Words kill. Words give life. They're either poison or fruit. You choose. Now, we have the potential within this little thing called the tongue to speak life or death. How many of you, I hesitate to say this because it depends on the situation, but how many of you really want to poison your spouse? Hands down if that's you. Depends on the day. That's why I say I hesitate to say this, but how many of you want to poison your spouse? No. If you really love your spouse, you don't want to poison them. Even if you do have a big insurance policy on them. You don't want to poison them. But if you do, remember to tithe whatever it is that you got. But anyway, how many of you would legitimately poison your kids? Yeah. But yet that's what our words can do. And I find this very hard to imagine and to begin to even think, but there are a lot of kids that grow up in an environment that is very abusive. And they have heard for years how they are never going to amount to anything. And they have heard for years that, and I know a lot of it might stem from maybe a divorce that went bad. And, the spouse is taking it out on the kid because of their bitterness toward the other spouse. But they might say words like, well, you're never going to amount to anything. You're going to be a worthless deadbeat just like your old man. Or things like that. And I'm telling you, that is putting poison into your children's life. That's not creating an environment for them to thrive and to flourish and to grow. That is putting poison smack dab in the center of the tree. And I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but have you heard the old story about nailing a nail in a tree and it can slowly die, it can slowly kill a tree? That's oftentimes what words can do. It can kill. And so if you're here today and you have children, how important is it that we speak words of life and faith and encouragement into their life? And how important is it that we take inventory of what comes out? Because not only can we give them fruit to live by, but we can also poison them with our words. Words have the power to kill or to give life.
Amen. Yeah.
And so we need to be careful about the words that we speak. And since we are, maybe not myself, but a lot of the people in here today are a younger generation, not only do your words that come out of your mouth have the power to kill or give life, but the words that you put on social media have the power to kill or give life.
Amen. That's right.
And so we choose. And if we are really wanting to love the Lord our God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves, not only would we not want to poison our spouse, not only would we not want to poison our kids, but we would not want to poison our neighbor around us. We should want to put words of faith and encouragement into their life.
Amen.
And so we need to take inventory. Kelly had mentioned several months ago about some sermon ideas, and one of them, and I think I even preached on, take inventory of what goes into your mind. But I love that word. Take inventory. Take captive.
Yes.
Take captive everything that comes in here and everything that goes out of there. Because it has power, people. And if we're going to be sitting on a hill, we want to speak words of life into everyone that we meet. But let me just ask you this. Because if words can kill, if the words that I speak to my children can bring life or death, then the words that I speak to myself can bring life or death, right?
Right. That's right.